Hi, I'm Andrew, the young adult and media librarian at North Brunswick Public Library. Sometimes, in science fiction and fantasy, we'll see stories about alternate universes where there are people just like the characters we've come to know, but something about them is a little bit different, right? So, there was a classic example of the original Star Trek series where Captain Kirk ended up in another universe where some of the good people were evil, for example. And I think that it's a very popular trope, and I think it can be fun to sort of wonder, hey, what if that's real? What if there really are alternate universes where there's another me, another you, and how are they different? Have they lived their lives differently, and where are they today? And the new book, The Art of Saving the World, sort of looks at that and also throws in the necessity of saving the world together when the heroine meets characters from other universes who are just other versions of her. The Art of Saving the World is a new YA novel by Corinne Duyvis, and it could be considered science fiction because we're dealing with alternate universes, and the idea is that the concept behind it is when Hazel, the main character, was born, this strange rift appeared, and there was almost like a crack in the universe where and she's had to live her whole life within a mile and a half of this rift. Otherwise, it would go crazy and things would get destroyed, and almost like this powerful tornado, incredibly powerful tornado, if she ever got outside that area. Right. And of course, having to grow up under those circumstances, never really being able to explore the world, everything is, really within walking distance for her. Has really had, a profound effect on who she is. And in this book, because of some very strange circumstances, other Hazels from other universes who've had different pasts and different lives meet with her, and she can sort of look at them and say, maybe I'm learning about myself just by looking at them. Right? Maybe they're a lot more, some of them might seem more confident about who they are, and their romantic feelings about people, and others might be shyer, things like that. I said that it's considered a science fiction, but the book could also really be considered a fantasy because there's a dragon in it. Was one of the most fun characters is a very sort of sardonic dragon with maybe possibly with a heart of gold. We're not sure yet. And there's a storyline about these mysterious powers that be that control things. So really, a lot of it, I think that it's sort of a fun mix of the science fiction and the fantasy, as well as just being a coming of age story. All right, so I think that the author, Corinne Dalvis, is she's very much interested in representing a lot of very different types of people. All right, I'm going to just read the opening here. The rift that opened on our farm the evening I was born was like a shard of glass, sharp and angled and not quite transparent. But tilt your head a little and it might as well be invisible. So no one could blame my parents for not noticing it that first week. When I was 6 days old, my parents took me to the pediatrician for my first checkup. They were discussing nursing habits, and when dad's phone rang. Our nearest neighbor. There had been an earthquake, she said, or perhaps a tornado, although West Asherton, Pennsylvania, was prone to neither. She knew only this: the worst noise had come from the direction of our house. When the three of us came home, we found our neighbor standing in our driveway and staring at a tree that had collapsed onto one of our barns. Surrounded by snow and bare winter shrubbery, It was a palm tree. My parents noticed the actual rift when cleaning up the grounds. Later, they told me it was the size of our three-seater couch, and it had jagged points on either side. It hovered diagonally 3 feet above the ground. The grass and dirt past it were distorted, as though seen through a layer of water, jittery and inconsistent. When they approached the rift with a rake extended before them, the air trembled. A second later, the rift tugged the rake from Dad's hand and sucked it in whole. Dad almost got yanked in with it. Mom pulled him back just in time. They approached the other side of the rift next, carrying a video camera and a large stone. They tossed the stone through, it vanished. The government confiscated the video, of course, even before deciding to garrison the farm. My parents were urged to leave with their week-old daughter and hastily packed suitcases. Their other belongings would be shipped to their newly gifted home post-haste. The farther we drove from the farm, the more agitated the rift became. It crackled at the edges, sending multiple physicists and agents into the hospital, and spat out gusts of fire and chunks of ripped out pavement. It took the researchers a while to suspect a connection and send for us. The rift returned to cool, broken glass the moment Mom stepped onto the grounds with me in her arms, sound asleep. At first, they thought it was Mom whose absence would cause the rift to go haywire. A 1.5-mile radius. That's how far I can safely roam. So again, that narrow radius where that she goes through her whole life, going to have an effect on her. The rift becomes a lot more dangerous in the story, and we also see strange little trolls that come in that are difficult to give her control. There's a lot of characterization for the various Hazels, right? The main Hazel and some of the other ones, including one rather memorable one who's a little bit shorter than the others, and there's a reason for that. But between all the characterizations, there's also a great deal of action too. There are some really fun, gripping sequences. So The Art of Saving the World is at the North Brunswick Public Library. You can place a hold on it for contactless pickup, either online. You can go to our website, northbrunswicklibrary.org, or you can call us during our hours, and we'd be happy to put it aside for you. You can check our website to see if there's any changes in the policies about our contactless pickup. Have you read this? Let me know. Have you read this book? What did you think of it? Do you have any other requests that you'd like me to look at for these videos, or would you like us to order some more books like this? I'd love to hear from you, and happy reading.